Hello everyone, it's Wolfgang Gray with Gray's Horizons. This is a new channel, so if you like it, please hit like, subscribe, and by all means leave a comment, it really helps. So they laughed when men said they think about the Roman Empire every day. But they're not laughing anymore. Because somewhere deep down, we all feel it. The empire is back, only this time it's digital, it's global, and it's disguised as freedom. So let's talk about why this hits so deeply, starting with the reasons I believe are the most relatable, the most cultural. And from there, we'll descend into the roots of something older, stranger, and far more revealing. Think of it as Rome never ended. It just changed skins. Let's start with the meme that wasn't a joke. What started as a TikTok trend, women asking their husbands how often they think about Rome. It exposed something deeper. The answer wasn't once a year, it was weekly, sometimes daily. Not out of nostalgia, out of recognition. Men aren't dreaming of togas and chariots. They're recognizing patterns, currency debasement, bread and circuses, bureaucratic overreach, border collapse. Let that sink in. And consider this. One of the highest grossing films of its time was Gladiator, a film about corruption, lost honor, and a man turned martyr by empire. Back then they canceled you with a sword. Today, it's obscurity. We used to watch gladiators die for a crowd. Now we cancel people for clicks. The spectacle changed, but the appetite didn't. Think about Nero's debasement of the denarius around 64 AD. He cut the silver purity from 100% to about 90% and reduced the weight from 3.8 grams to 3.4 grams. Sound familiar? Next, Rome was the prototype. Rome wasn't just a place, it was the first subscription empire. Citizenship meant taxation, surveillance, and loyalty in exchange for protection and access. But here's the thing. Roman taxes, though resented, were predictable, even tolerable by modern standards. Imagine the Boston Tea Party over a 3% tax. Compare that to today's bloated extraction. The revolt now would be against a system that burns half your paycheck and prints the rest into worthlessness. Many young men don't just yearn for Rome's pride. They yearn for its efficiency. Their taxes paid for Roman aqueducts, ours, fiber optic cable. Next, men find their role in the modern world confusing. In Rome, men left a mark, literally. Amphitheaters, roads, monuments, aqueducts. Things that still stand 2,000 years later and still stun us with their beauty. Columns that reach, arches that endure, domes that whisper grandeur across millennia. Their labor wasn't just functional, it was aspirational. Today, men sit at desks, work in apps, push pixels for companies that will be obsolete by the next election cycle. Their effort is stored in code and forgotten in updates, bland, temporary, replaceable. There's no column with your name carved into it, just a login. You weren't born to scroll. You were born to build. And then there's the longing for order. Rome offered something the modern world can't. Coherence. Its laws were brutal but clear. Its goals were imperial but known. Today, our systems are optimized for opacity. Confusion is the product, and you don't just see it in institutions. You see it in the streets. Graffiti over marble, trash where tradition once stood. institutions discarded in the name of progress. The older you are, the more clearly you remember there was once a rhythm to things, holidays that meant something, neighborhoods that felt safe, order that carried purpose. But progressive culture doesn't pause to preserve. It only pushes to replace. Deconstruction or destruction is easy. Reconstruction, rare, slow, and often abandoned halfway. So we look back, not because Rome was perfect, but because it made sense. Did you know in October 2023, a Harvard study found that 45% of young adults say they feel the world is falling apart. Sad. And men admire a story that meant something. Rome gave men something modern life refuses, a future they could build into. One of the world's most enduring religions was born under Roman rule. Its stories, cathedrals, and rituals shaped civilizations for centuries. The men who believed they were working alongside God didn't just build for profit, they built for eternity, and it showed. Domes that defy gravity, churches that stop time, roads that still carry weight. From cradle to grave, you weren't just surviving, you were participating in something sacred. Today, we're sold fragments. Career as identity, planet as guilt, dopamine as destiny. No wonder men returned to Rome. It wasn't just power, it was transcendence. The empire didn't give them comfort. It gave them something more important, meaning. And finally, something I find personally powerful, the lost language of meaning. Rome, and Greece before it, gave the West its intellectual backbone. Stoicism, logic, civic duty, even the word republic. At one time, Latin wasn't dead. It was unifying. The educated spoke one language, shared one canon, debated one set of first principles. And it wasn't just unifying, it was unchanging. A man from the 1400s could read the writings of a man in the 400s and understand him. There was a bridge between minds across centuries. Today, that bridge is gone. Words mutate by the month. Definitions shift with the algorithm. Generations no longer speak the same language. They barely speak to each other, even though they live together. That longing for Rome is also a longing for coherence. Not just political, but philosophical. The Roman Empire isn't a memory, it's a mirror. Its ruins aren't just reminders, they're warnings. And the men who think about it, they're not retreating into history. They're searching for the thread. That lost sense of order, meaning, and place in time. The past isn't calling, it's reminding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.